I don't think the chitas went on the Facebook thing. Okay, everybody, good morning. I hope you can see me. I hope you can hear me over here. Okay, we're back in the, you see, for those who are on Zoom, we're back on the, in the show, in the small show, and I will invite you all to come back to Chabad and come and learn face to face. But if you're still uncomfortable, so we'll continue on Zoom or on Torah Direct. Okay, we're holding the fifth chapter of Shara Yichud Ve'emunah. The Alter Rebbe is explaining the concept of the aspect of the way a Jew is supposed to have Emunah Hashem in the belief in God. In the unity of the way the Eibishter God is united, connected with the world. We're also learning these chapters, Chitas of the day. We're learning these extremely lofty concepts. As Alter Rebbe himself says, that these are things that are hard for a person to comprehend. The meaning of these concepts, it's hard for us humans, our mind, to be able to really comprehend it clearly. But just like the knowledge of God is above comprehension, so too is this. This is the knowledge of God, and nevertheless, there's an obligation of Das Hashem. There's an obligation on a Jew to be able, should be able, and should understand God according to his capability, whatever his capacity is. And for the capacity to understand God, is each person is different. Every person is different to be able to understand the aspect of godliness and what God is united with the world, as Alter Rebbe has explained over and over again. We're holding the fifth chapter. We're going to go now into the Tanya itself, and we'll learn together. Okay. So we hope that, as you see in the interpretation over here, thanks to God's attribute of Gevurah. The Alter Rebbe explained the previous chapter, in chapter 4, the two attributes of God, Chesed and Gevurah. Chesed, the attribute of Chesed, of kindness, is the concept where God reveals himself to the world and wants to give to the world, which that's the basic concept of kindness, to be able to give and to share. And with that attribute, we should give to everybody, and God does give to everybody. But kindness in itself, the aspect of kindness in itself, chesed in itself, in the attribute of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, then the humans would not be in existence. The love would be so encompassing that it would swallow in everybody. Everybody be, as Chassidus says, everybody would be bottled. Everybody would be nullified to their source. If God will reveal himself, which God doesn't want to reveal himself. Because that's the attribute of chesed. The attribute of kindness is the concept of revelation, to give. As the Alter Rebbe uses the expression of the Gemara, Teva ha'toiv lahetiv. The nature of kindness is to be kind, is to be revealing. But if God will reveal himself in the state that we are in, the state that humans are in, then the way humanity is today would disappear. Therefore, thanks to God's attribute of Gevurah. Therefore, in the two attributes of God, the Eibishter had the concept of Gevurah, which again we explained. Chassidus, that's the concept of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham is Chesed, Isaac is Gevurah. And thank God to the attribute of Gevurah, which is the capacity of Tzimtzum. The Eibishter said that in my own attributes, not that I'm going to create something that's going to shield me, because that's making, as our Rebbe said, that's making something separate from him, Chas v'Shalom. So Chesed and Gevurah are both connected to him, they're both from him. So the Eibishter gives the capacity within himself the aspect of contraction. As Alter Rebbe explained in the foregoing chapter, created beings live in the illusion that they possess an independent and tangible existence. Right? It's an illusion. The Eibishter and God gave us that illusion. The Eibishter gave us an illusion. Thank God. that we can live in a dream. That's why it says when Mashiach comes, we're going to say, we were in a dream. This was a dream situation. Right? We say it in the benching.
Yeah.
Right? Based after meals. We're like a dream. So we're like in a dream. And a dream is like an illusion. Everything can be opposites. Everything can be, a lot of things can happen in a dream that cannot happen in a normal kind of a setting. So being thus sensitive to the force that animates them, so therefore ultimately that's why the human being is insensitive to the force that animates. It is insensitive to the chesed because the Eibishter God brought about a concept of a contraction. That's why we don't feel it. Am I hot air or is it hot air? I think the air conditioning is off. Yeah, if you don't mind, put it on 71, 72. It's very warm air. That's not going to help me. Shkoyach. They are able to think for themselves as existing independence of their source. They fail to perceive that in truth they are but a diffusion of the rays of their source, like the diffusion of the sun's rays as they found within the sun. So that's basically what we have been learning. We have been learning the first couple of chapters in Shana Yichud B'Mon. Now, as we mentioned, that we mentioned the Midas HaChesed, the attribute of kindness, and the attribute of Gevura. The Alter Rebbe is now going to go to the third attribute, because in the triangle of what we learn, in the triangle of the way the attributes go, and the first mentioned last week, the first three attributes are the main, and the second three are called kafulas, are called doubles. That means, I don't know the picture of this computer, but that means that Chachma is the first in the triangle, the top, and the Seichel is the first triangle. You know what I'm talking about? Remember what I'm talking about? So you have Chachma on the right, and Chesed, and the Bina on the left, and then you have in the middle Das. That's the first three.
You mean that Kabbalah thing?
Yeah, the Kabbalah thing. Right? The Sfirot.
10, 11 streets.
No, there's only 10, but relax. Guess is above it. So in the Tanya, you have 10 streets, Esses streets. And you have down on Chachma, if the Chachma comes, that's Seichel, that's the intellect. Then we go to the Midas, 6 Midas is Chesed, Gevura, and in the middle Tiferes. And then you have Netzach, Chayid, and his middle Yesod. And then you have the 7th Midah, which is Midas HaMalchus. So the right column is Chachma, Chesed, and Netzach. The left column is Bina, Gevura, and Chayid. And the middle column is Das, Tiferes, Rachamim, and Yesod, and Malchus. That's the middle column, right? Everybody on the Zoom, you know what I'm talking about. So the Bria Chaticha, that's called in Kabbalah, the middle rung that goes through everything. Now the middle column is the Midas HaEmes, is the aspect of Jacob. And the Moshe Rabbeinu, Midas HaShalem, that's the thing that goes through everything. The concept of Das, which Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, is the unifier between Chochmah and Bina. The concept of Tiferes, beauty, which is the aspect of Yaakov Avinu, which the Alter Rebbe is going to explain over here, is the concept of Rachamim. So, in this aspect of Tanya, Tanya is talking about Yichud, the aspect of unity. So, Das is a unifier. Das, knowledge. Now, the concept of Rachamim is a unifier. Mercy. Mercy. That means the world would not exist with Chesed. The world would not exist with Gevura. The world only exists because we have Midas HaRachamim, because we have the attribute of mercy, which the attribute of mercy unifies the concept of Chesed and Gevura, unifies Both of these aspects, chesed, the concept of kindness and the concept of good. That's why it says that Yaakov Avinu redeemed his father and his grandfather. Yaakov Avinu, Jacob, Abraham had a Ishmael, and Yitzchak had an Esau. And Yaakov had Mitos Shlema. Yaakov redeemed his father and his grandfather. Machamim, the aspect of mercy, the concept of mercy. So we know that that's also in the first 3 days. That the first day is Midas HaChesed, the Eibush created light. The second day, the Eibush created the concept of separation. And the third day is Pamayim Kitay. That's why in the first day it says the Eibush is always good. Chos Chesed is always good. The second day is Gevura. It doesn't mention any good in the day of creation. And in the third day, it says Pamayim Kitay. It says double good. Because on the third day, which is Rachamim, is Tov LaShamayim, but Tov LaBriyas, is good for God and good for humanity. And that's peace, where it's good for God and good for humanity. If it's only good for God, it'll be good for humanity. If it's only good for humanity and not good for God, it's not a perfect union. What is a perfect union? Good for God and good for humanity. Good for everybody. That's what we're looking for. God is happy and we're happy. What do you mean?
The moon and the sun.
The third day?
Yeah.
The third day was the earth, the separations of the water and the vegetation. The fourth day was the... So the first day, Or, that's why Chassidus Or is Chesed. That's Chesed. That's the true aspect of Chesed, of kindness, is Or, the fusion of light. Right? Like the sun. That's why the analogy of the sun gives light to everybody. Whoever wants the light of the sun is welcome to have the light of the sun. It's not going to choose not to go to you or not to go to him or not to go even to somebody who's bad. The light of the sun will shine on everybody. It's shine on everybody. It will give light to a person that's looking for dark. It'll give the dark guy to see also things that he shouldn't see. Because light chesed will diffuse to everybody. Imagine if the light only shone to righteous people, and all the wicked wouldn't be able to see anything. It would be night. That's why by the Egyptians, one of the plagues was darkness. The sun was shining, but it was not shining to them. By them it was darkness, by the Jews it was light. But imagine if we had a world that only light, the sun would shine to the righteous. The wicked would always be cold. And you would have a perfect world, but that's not chesed. Chesed is that sun shines to everybody. It doesn't make a difference who you are, what you are. Chesed shines to everybody. And that's why the world cannot, it's not good chesed, totally. The wicked would really prosper. There would be no judgment. Because chesed is, I'm not judging, I'm giving, whether you're good or bad. Really, the true concept of chesed. So that's not out to that, but let's learn it, who are learning inside, those who are here, and those who are on Zoom. On this concerning this, that the aspect, the concept of creation came through. I'm reading the same thing you're reading over here through a copy. So can you read it? Or it's too small for you? No, you can read it. Yeah. Certainly, the concept of creation came through the process of Tzimtzum, which enables created beings to believe that they enjoy independent form of existence. Our sages of blessed memory said, B'tchila, in the original, it came to God's thought to create the world through the attribute of stern judgment. That's when the Eibishter wanted to create the world through judgment, the world of judgment. Rosh She'eina Elam Eskayim. He saw, however, that the world would not endure. That's why when God says that you learn the first Rashis over there in the Chumash, in the first day of creation, it says that God saw that the light was good and he put it away. He put it away. That's why it's interesting. In the beginning, it says, Bereshis Bara Elikim. In the beginning, God created the world through the name of God Elohim, which is the attribute of Gevurah, which is the concept of severity. But he saw, he saw that the world would not endure. He associated the attribute of mercy in it. So this is like, if you read this, sounds like a contradiction. Verse, what is the meaning of this? So you look at the explanations. He said, at first glance, it's incomprehensible. God desired to act in goodness, as it's a contradiction, to retreat his creatures benevolently. So what does it mean? Well, we thought God is benevolent. Suddenly now it says the opposite. That God wanted to create the world with the attribute of judgment. Yeah? Why then did he plan to create the world through the attribute of justice? Accordingly to what is explained above, this is entirely understandable. In order for created beings to believe that they possess independent existence, there must be a process of symptom. That's why the Eibishter wanted to create it through symptom, which is the expression of a certain attribute of Gevurah. Without it, all creation will be completely nullified to their source. God, however, desired. You reading with me, guys?
I think I lost.
Well, in second place. Well, in second place. Yep. God, however, desired that the created beings maintain. God, however, the created beings maintain that they possess independent existence in order for them to be able to serve Him and ultimately be rewarded for their service. So here we come into the concept of why did God want judgment? Because God understood that humanity is going to be involved with reward and punishment. It will be important to them. It's very important that we get rewarded. Right? We get paid. We get rewarded through money, or we get rewarded through compliment. It's very important to us. Validation. Validation.
A psychologist once told me
Yeah.
that positive reinforcement is much stronger than negative reinforcement.
Right. 100%. Because that's human nature. We need to have validation. We need to be told we're wonderful. Yeah. Mr. Wonderful. That's what it is. That's you human beings. We're wonderful. You gotta say, I love you, and you're wonderful, and you're beautiful, and you're handsome. And we should need that. It's almost like an important thing to us that we validate one another. It's not a negative thing, but that's where the Eibishter created a human being. That comes through Tzimtzum. If everybody, that's why the communism wanted to try to create everybody's equal. Oh, one, the only difference. Yeah. Oh, all in together. You know the difference what you're doing or not doing. Nobody has to be rewarded for what they're doing. They're part of the group. So whether you're a baker, or you're a diamond dealer, or a furrier, doesn't make a difference.
The previous Rebbe,
yeah,
in the book, he once gave an analogy of the cells of the body, how like the everything in the body is, part of the one body, but it all, like you have your liver, you have your pancreas, the kidney, your muscles, the brain, everything works together.
Over there, in the body it works together. So in the body it works together.
Right.
But in humans we are separate bodies. So in the body, in one body, that's why we have to feel like one body. That's why we have to come to unity of feeling like the Gemara says, that the Jewish nation is one body. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. That's when that will be, when Mashiach come and that will be revealed, it will feel like one body. But right now, we feel like two different entities. Not only we feel like two different entities, actually you're a challenge to my body. Your existence might be a challenge to my existence. Right? We're competing with each other. We come to compete, God forbid, with one another. And everybody wants to be something else. And everybody wants to be somebody else. And everybody wants to have what somebody else has. Why? Because we're living in two different bodies, and we have automatically jealousy, which brings to hatred, God forbid, and all these things that come about. Not that we're bad people. It's human nature like that. That's why it says when Mashiach comes, there won't be jealousy. Can you imagine a world without jealousy? There won't be hate. That'll be nice, 100%. I agree. But
I'm looking forward to it.
what?
I'm looking forward to it.
No, you gotta look forward to it. You have to start doing it now to be able to look forward to it. Okay, so that's it. So you have to, but the Eibishter automatically created, and that's why Al Rebbe is going to explain why Midas HaRachman is important to a human being. Because Gevura itself is not good. Gevura creates that concept, severity, Gevura contraction, self. Gevura is about self-protection. So if a person giving and giving and giving, and he doesn't protect himself, he can be abused, he can be taken advantage of, he can be hurt. And the Eibishter, God didn't want that. That's why God gave Gevura. So you have your home. The Eibishter didn't want your house to be open to everybody. It should be open to everyone to come as guests. But it should be your castle. It should be your home. You should lock the door. And there should be the aspect of this bias, this privacy in your private home. So, therefore, Ches and Gevura on its own are sometimes a dangerous components. And therefore, the Eibishter wanted really the Midas HaRachman, the attribute of mercy. Mercy. The concept of mercy. Mercy means that I have Rachmanis, whether it's I have Rachmanis on the other person, I have Rachmanis on my soul, which we learned in Tanya. We have Rachmanis on the Eibishter. We have Rachmanis. We have mercy. The Eibishter has mercy, and we should have mercy. Mercy means that I want the other person. I want to uplift the other person. I'm here to uplift another person. Not that I make the other person like me. I want the other person to be who he is and to have everything that he has. And if he doesn't have it, I have mercy upon him to uplift him, to make him a better person. So this is what Alter Rebbe is going to try to explain to us. So let's go continue. This original plan of creation, the original plan of creation, therefore, was that it should be dominated by the attribute of stern judgment. However, God saw that if he created the world in a manner that it could not endure, because if it could be stern judgment, it would become a very selfish world. It would become a real world of Esav. So Yitzchak was also judgment, with judgment, the aspect of Kedusha. But he had an Esav, which was totally a judgment in the attribute of negativity. And he tried to ultimately elevate that stern judgment. Couldn't do it, couldn't accomplish it. And the world would be full of Esavs if God would only create the world to the attribute of judgment. So that's why he tempered it with the attribute of mercy. So the Rebbe Alter Rebbe explains why indeed would the world not be able to endure otherwise? Because if creation had come about under such auspices alone, the life force of wholeness would have been utterly hidden. And there would never be able to be any kind of revelation of godliness in the world. You would either do kindness or severity. So you'll be kind to who deserves kindness, and you'll be totally severe to who doesn't deserve kindness. You would never give an opportunity for anybody to become better. If they're good, you would give them kindness. If they're bad, you would be severe to them. Because that's what they deserve. I'm not going to wait for you to do tshuva. Why would I wait for anybody to do tshuva? Either you do tshuva now or you're out of here. So that's why in Yiddishkeit, the concept of tshuva is a very important thing. And why would there be tshuva if not for the attribute of mercy of God? Why would there be the concept of repentance? Why should God take any repentance? You did something wrong, you get punished. End the story. You want to have good, you can't have your cake and eat it. Mercy says you can have your cake and eat it. Because I have mercy on you. So you can have your cake and eat it a little bit. Yeah, because I have mercy. Mercy takes in the whole picture. So mercy says, oh, why did you do the bad thing? Oh, what's the background? What's the situation? That's mercy. Judgment says you did something bad. I don't care what the situation. I don't care. Doesn't make a difference to me. The background. You did something wrong. You gotta pay. And that's why today, even the judicial system is not such a great system, because it has no mercy. It goes by the book. And sometimes you can't go by the book. There has to be some aspect of it. You got to take in the bigger picture of what's happening in the world. Right? You have to sometimes thank God in the family and the society and the system that you were born in. Right? That you were born into a certain family and a certain system, certain environment, that was not your choice.
The challenges come with it.
But the other people might have been born in another kind of situation. Could have been born in a very dire, negative, abusive, against their will. So you got to look at the general picture. It's very easy to condemn somebody and say that he's done something negative. Maybe he's done something negative. You know his background. Maybe he couldn't overcome his negativity. I'm not justifying negativity. But Rachamim doesn't justify negativity. It just puts us in the right perspective. So we got to figure out in every situation, to every person's negativity, to why he's done negative, how to get him out of his negativity, and also be judged in a certain kind of a way, right? What were the jails were called? Jails originally were called places to rectify. What were they called? Rehabilitation. No, not rehabilitation. Correctional facilities, right? They were called correctional facilities. Why? Well, hopefully they're for correction, but they're not anymore. They're prisons. They're there for penalty. Nobody cares about to make the person a better person. Yeah, and to teach people to be better people, not to just make them feel that they become nothing, that they're nothing. That's what the Rebbe created the elephants to go out to the prisons. We should learn with the prisoners. They've done something wrong. Nobody's justifying the wrong, but they're human beings. And don't just throw them away. That's what we're gonna do. Just throw them away to the garbage pail. That they're not human beings. Well, you expect them to come better. So that's the problem. There's no rachamim. There's no mercy. It has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with the anger of the person that was hurt, etc. It has nothing to do with the person anymore. It has no mercy. There's no aspect of caring about that person. The Eibishter also, he understood. Since he wanted to care about people, he created them in a gevura in himself. But he realized that gevura, and all this when you say God realized, self-understood, it's also an experience that God realized. But really, to us to realize that the Eibishter created the world, and every human being is a small world. So we should realize also what's important to us. Midas HaChesed, what's important to us, Midas HaChesed, to be kind and to be giving. Why is it important to us, Midas HaGevurah, to be respectful, to constrain ourselves, to think, to make sure the other person has his identity and doesn't lose his identity, doesn't fall into our identity. And ultimately, Midas HaRachamim, that we have to have the attribute of mercy. And that's an important aspect in our lives, to have the attribute of mercy. Why indeed? Yeah, so that's because in creation, it comes under the life was running all accordingly. Spiritual tax of revealing godliness in such a world would have been inordinately, or it would be impossible. God therefore involved the attribute of mercy in creation of the world, so that the holiness and godliness would be revealed within it. So attribute of mercy gives the capability that we could reveal godliness to each person to his capability. Every person should reveal godliness in the world, because God has mercy upon every one of us, that we would not be totally separated from him, and we would not be totally hidden. Godliness would not be totally hidden from us. What's the matter?
I don't understand the word.
Arduous?
Hard, arduous, I think is hard. Very, very, I'm not an English professor, but I think arduous is hard, as you know that. I can see I'm not an English professor. Arduous is very hard, very, very hard. I think that's an expression of extreme hardships. They wanted every Jew, every human being, should reveal godliness in the world. That's the whole purpose of creation. That's why we're here in the world for. And if Midas Adin, the attribute of severity, would be totally in power, you would never be able to reveal godliness in the world. This is combined with the attribute of mercy, is a revelation of within the world of the godliness and the supernal power through tzaddikim and through the signs and miracles recorded in the Torah. So now you understand why it's important, the aspect of miracles in the world that we have in the Torah, miracles that we speak about tzaddikim who did miracles. Why is it important? Because it shows that there is a concept of godliness in the world, of an aspect that's above nature in the world. If you wouldn't have stories of tzaddikim, we wouldn't have the stories in the Torah. We would think this world is totally natural, and there's no supernatural, no concept of spirituality and supernatural in the world. It's not possible. We come to a conclusion, it's impossible. That's why it's important. Stories of tzaddik has a great impression upon us. That there could be a concept of a miraculous concept in the world. Sarah, at 90 years old, can have, today I tell married women that are 80, 90 years old, I tell them that the mikvah will come to the bris. They start to laugh. It's impossible. Why is it impossible? We Jews believe in the impossible. We celebrate the impossible. Why is that impossible? Is something impossible by God? If God wanted today an ideal woman to have a baby, she wouldn't have it. She would have it.
Healthy. Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. Nothing's impossible by God. So we believe in miracles. So why can a 90-year-old woman? So everybody's going to tell you crazy. It's not crazy. Of course, it did happen. Sarah was talking about a miracle, but we believe in miracles. And it's actually brought down in Kabbalah that through, even after man and woman are past their childbirthing years, they still create souls through their physical relationship. It's brought down to Zaya. So you have to still have
Rabbi, can you repeat that, please? I didn't get it.
It says, I believe it says that he's all right, that through people coming together, especially if they come together in righteous, in a very righteous way, after a woman goes through menopause, let's say she can't have any children anymore, physically, I mean, naturally. So there should still be a relationship with the husband and a man, a husband and a wife, because they create souls in Gan Eden. They create neshamas. They create tzaddikim. They create souls in Gan Eden. So maybe they don't create it here in this world. They create the soul in Gan Eden.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there should be still, even though the concept of relationship is only creation. Now we're past that situation. So it says in the previous, especially tzaddikim, righteous people. It says actually, these are rights that if the tzaddik and it's tzadkanis that passed away, the Eibishter brings them together in Gan Eden. And they create souls in Gan Eden. They create more souls. They continue to create souls. And he says that could be also the souls of the Gedim that created from this union between a tzaddik and his wife in Gan Eden. Whatever that means. They have private chambers in the Gan. I don't know, whatever. It's the unity of souls. Whatever that means. It's probably beyond. We just have to listen to what he says. It's probably beyond some things are above beyond comprehension. But because everything in this world, as the Alter Rebbe is going to say in a moment, everything in this world is happening in the upper worlds. There's nothing that doesn't happen in this world that doesn't have its reflection in the upper worlds. There's nothing in this world doesn't happen in the upper worlds. Everything that's happening, good, bad, and the ugly, everything is happening in the upper worlds. We have Yom Yom with that Baal Shem Tov once came into the shul and he heard somebody screaming at his friend and say to him, I'm going to, he was very angry, and he said, I'm going to whip you up like a fish. And the Alter Rebbe gathered his students and they put their hands together and they saw a vision in heaven as this guy was tearing this guy up like a fish in the spiritual in the higher worlds. We don't realize that whatever happens in this world, again, to the especially hope for the good for sure, but even God for the bad, everything's a reflection of what's happening in the upper worlds. So, and surely by the nations of the world, what the Eibusher says, whatever happens, whatever the Goyim, the nations of the world are doing, and the expressions of Yidden, etc., is all happening in the upper worlds. It's the Sada Shalamayla. It's their spiritual visage, that's the right word, is a spiritual reflection above. And they have the spiritual reflection above is what is happening in their physical reflection here below. So, fixing our physical reflection here below makes a better reflection in the heaven, in our spiritual reflection in heaven. So every person is supposed to look at himself as 10 spheres. That's what he's saying. Every person is supposed to look at himself as if he's made up of 10 spherot. How does my chesed look? How is my chesed? How is my attribute if I look at myself in that way? How does my chokhmah look like? How does my wisdom look like in this world? And that's the way it's reflection, the way it looks in the upper world. How does my chesed look like in this world? And that's the way it's going to be reflected in the upper world. So if you're worried about Gan Eden, you're in Gan Eden right now. Right? My essence of my soul is not within me, it's in Gan Eden. So my neshama right now is in Gan Eden. And the reflection, what Gan Eden he has right now, is the reflection of where I have chesed in this world right now. Now, for surely, if they're 120 years old, when the whole neshama goes to Gan Eden, that's the reflection out. Where you think you can have the same Gan Eden to what you have right now in this world. It's not going to change anything. So if you have no Tainig Hashem, you have no Das Hashem in this world, you have no Das Hashem in the upper world. Because whatever you have in the Gan Eden is what you have right now. It's your neshama, what you have in Gan Eden, and you have the same neshama right now in your body, in my body. So that's why we need to not worry about anything, but worry about our souls. And try to live a spiritual world, spiritual life, and that's through Midas Rachman. The Eibusha gave us Rachmanis that we should have in our neshamas. We should have more Rachmanis on our neshamas than everything else in the world. And if we can have Rachmanis, mercy on our souls, we'll be able to have a holier existence here in this world. Because the holier existence I have in this world is the holier existence I have in any world, in the upper worlds for sure.
Very good lesson.
Well,
It's a very life-changing lesson.
it's truth. That's the way it is. That's the way the Eibishter created the world. He created this world as a reflection of the upper worlds. That's what he never says. He continues this concept. He says that in the Zohar, it's the teaching of the Zohar. Regarding Zalman is the Zohar, the Eila is sitting Dushadi Leila. Regarding the fact that the attribute of Chesed and Gevurah transcend intellect, it states in the Zohar above the side of supernal holiness, meaning the world of Atzilus, which is far superior than the three worlds of Bri, Yitzir, and Yisir, they are right, left, namely Chesed and Gevurah. So whatever is in this world is in the upper worlds, and over there Chesed and Gevurah, self is beyond that much, far beyond the Chesed and Gevurah, the way it's in this world. But it's ultimately the same concept. There's Chesed and Gevurah above, and there's Chesed and Gevurah below. Now, the Chesed and Gevurah, the beauty of the beauty is that not the Chesed that you're going to receive, that you're doing here, is the Chesed that you're going to receive Lamaila. The Chesed that you receive Lamaila is far beyond the Chesed you can imagine what Chesed is here. So the ripple effects of the Chesed that you do in this, you do kindness in this world, above that kindness is far beyond the kindness of this world. That's why in the world to come is true tainug, is true delight. Because the world to come is real chesed. So here you think you're doing just an act, you just did a favor to somebody. I just did it, just give tzedakah, what's the big deal? I gave a penny. You're right, in this world, because everything is oh, you could have given $2, why did you give a penny? Oh, you did an act of kindness, and what's the big deal? You could have done more kindness. Because in this world, everything is by, have a span of space and time, etc. But the true attribute of kindness, far beyond Lamaila, and that small attribute of kindness, Lamaila and above, in the upper worlds, is beyond our comprehension, that concept of kindness. You won't even imagine the concept of kindness. So that's why the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, and that's what the Father says, it's better one mitzvah in this world than all the world to come. But tainug, delight, is one moment of delight in the world to come is better than all the delight. Because what do we know what delight is? What do we have delight in? We have delight in chod. That's our delight. What is our delight? We have delight in, in physical things. We have delight, and even if it's delight in the wisdom, we have delight in very limited concepts of wisdom. We have delight in true aspect of what tainug is, of what real delight is. That's why it says the Shabbos is me'ein olam haba, the taste of the world to come. Real delight. It's hard to capture the delight of Shabbos unless you keep Shabbos. It's hard to capture. What is it? It's a regular day. There's something in Shabbos that is not comprehensible. There's something it's hard to explain, right? To a person who doesn't keep Shabbos, what is the delight of Shabbos? I can sleep all Sunday. I can learn all Monday. What is the true delight? It's above comprehension. You have to do it to understand it. That's why Shabbos is separate. Shabbos in the attribute in the concept of oh, my battery is dying in 9 minutes, so I have 9 minutes left. So in the attribute of kindness, in the attribute of Shabbos, is Malchus is separate. That's why I said before, there are 6 emotions. And then Malchus is separate. Malchus is kingship, is the aspect of Mein Olam Haba, is the will to come, is their chesed and gevura, and all the attributes are above and beyond what we think emotions is, what we think love is, what we think chesed is, or what we think gevura is, or what we really think rachamim is. Because over there, it's true godliness. Over here, any chesed, any gevura, which are spiritual aspect, will ultimately come down into my physical mind. And that automatically diminishes it. It puts a human dimension to it. And that's not real chesed. It's just missing its true beauty. Yeah? Because ultimately in the heavens, in the Atzilis, and the world of emanation over there, the attribute of chesed is pure. True purity. That's why the first Rashi, it says, the neighbor should get light, which is chesed. He saw the people, we never be able to taste it. We not know what it means. I think the great rabbi gave a mashal. You take like a simple man and you bring him into a very fancy king's palace and the food that they eat. He doesn't understand what this food is. Give me some potato salad. Give me some, and here he's eating this very fancy death. What is this? Where's the beef? Trying to explain to him this is he doesn't get it. Doesn't understand it. Doesn't understand the delight in it. Because he's used to simple food. Give me my beef and my potatoes. And that's it. True delight is in Lamaila. Because there is above and beyond. So you're thinking like a farmer and like a peasant. Because he and his attribute are one in the world of emanation. Okay, good.
I put my hand up, like, the chat thing, and no one is responding. Nothing. Zalman, your video went off.